Well, hello, and welcome to another lesson of the Focus on GraphCMS course. I am Marcelo Lewin, the Headless Creator. As always, there's my email address. Feel free to reach out to me, marcelo@headlesscreator.com, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Today, I'm going to show you how to work with columns, filters, and views in GraphCMS to be able to get to your content much quicker. So we'll be working with that. We're creating some views. I'll tell you all about it in just a minute. But as always, for those of you watching live, let me tell you real quick about headlesscreator.com. Go sign up. After we're done with this live stream, you'll be able to get the lesson on demand there, along with a bunch of other content in the course. So you can see right here, there's a lot of content in there, and more is added during the week. So go ahead and sign up. You also have free access to all of our courses, including the Content Modeling Weekly, a bunch of other Headless CMS courses, and of course the Discover Headless Tech, where I interview people and show you a variety of headless technology. So anyway, it's free registration, literally free. So go for it, headlesscreator.com. And of course, down there, you got all of my social media. Follow me everywhere, please. I'd love for you to do that. So as you know the process, I'm going to go ahead and restart the intro because the on-demand version has no marketing whatsoever. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll restart the intro, and then we'll get started on the lesson. So see you in just 30 seconds. Well, hello, and welcome to another lesson of the Focus on GraphCMS course. I am Marcelo Lewin, the Headless Creator. As always, my email address is right there. Feel free to send me an email, marcelo@headlesscreator.com. Today, I'm going to show you how to work with columns, with filters and views inside of GraphCMS. And the reason you want to work with those is because it's going to help you from an authoring perspective. It'll help you get to the content you need right away. So let's just jump right in. Let me share my screen here. Here we go. So here we are, and I have my list of things I want to cover here. So I've got to make sure that's visible. So I hit everything that I want to do. But okay, so let's start with just defining filters, columns, and views. Filters are a way of narrowing down your content. So when you go into the content area, and this applies for assets as well, right now it's showing you everything for a content type. You can use filters to narrow down that content by particular criteria. Columns allow you to view your content in the listing prior to clicking on it to get into the actual entry. And then content views are a combination of the columns you've set up along with your filtering criteria. That's a content view that you can save. So that's the three things, the three tools you have available within GraphCMS to organize your content and get to it as quickly as you can. So why don't we start out with managing columns. So, okay, so here we are. You can see I just have two, for this example, I just have two content types, article and author, and there's some entries in there. That's it, very simple. These are your columns right here. So in your columns, as you know, you can sort up and down, descending or ascending. Not all columns are able to do that. So I believe the ID you can, but stages you can't. So not every column is available to do that. So keep that in mind. But let's say you have here a bunch of columns that you go, you know, I really don't need all of this. For example, by default, the ID column is there. But the reality is I never use that because this means nothing to me. So you can go right here where it says configure columns. And by the way, for those of you watching live, feel free to type in the comments any questions you have. I'll answer them as we move along here. Now I'm going to take a little sip of water. All right, so click on the configure columns, and you're going to see all the columns that you have available to either show or hide. So for example, if I want to show the created by, I can click on it and now created by is being shown. So there it is, created by. Now, the other thing you can do, for example, is let's say you want the title, which is like the, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 column. You want it to be the first column. So you can just drag by grabbing these dots here, you can drag it to where you want to, and you can see that title is there. Now, this column stages, it's always shown. I wish we were able to turn that off, but because we can create views that are published, so I wish they would allow us to turn off that column. So people like GraphCMS, if you're watching, maybe give that as an enhancement to let us turn that off. But anyway, you can see that it shows all the columns. So where is it getting all these columns from? Well, some of them are system columns, right? Like created at, created by. But others are part of the content type. So you can see body, slug, author, category. So let me go into the schema and let's go into article, and let's just add a number field. Why not? My number. It doesn't matter, right? We're just adding a field. And let's wait for it to save. And now it's saved. So now let's go back to the content for article. And I'm going to click on configure columns and notice that my number, the one that I just added, that column that I just added, is there now. And it's pre-selected. So if we scroll to the right, you can see my number there. So for example, if we go into an entry and we say my number 5, click on save and publish, or you don't have to even save and publish, we can just save. And go back, you'll see that for one of the entries, my number is 5. So this is where the column pull-down menus is populated by the content type number of columns that you have in there. So that way you can see all your content. The nice thing is you can check mark pretty much everything and go, you don't even have to get into the entry to actually see what's going on. Now, of course, if you want to edit and manage it, but here, like for example, the body, it'll bring up the pop-up. Now it's empty on this one, right? I think on most of them I didn't do an entry. So let's click on edit and we'll go my body, if I can spell it, text. Save and publish. We'll go back to article and then we'll click on body and then you can see my body text there. So it's a good way to preview. So that's where you want to add columns, is to be able to preview things without you having to go click in. That'll help you speed up, because imagine if you want to see what's in here and click on edit. Now, the other thing I do is, like for example, I'll turn off ID because I really don't need the ID. I'll usually put the title in the front because that's, for me, easier way to find stuff. The created ad, usually not, but updated ad and updated by, I do. Body, slug, author, like for example, if it's a blog like this, I may do that. So I would deselect all of this. So now I have something that really works for me. I can see my title, who created it, when it was updated, and who actually updated it, right? So that's a way to manage your columns. So let's make sure I got everything right for you. Okay, we covered columns. So that's pretty much columns. Oh yeah, let's go and add my number, which should be, where are you? You're there.